listening to Mysteries and Beliefs Podcast, the show where we discuss a multitude of mind-boggling topics like the paranormal, conspiracies, extraterrestrials, brain-scrambling sciences, and anything mysterious. If you have a story to tell and you'd like to be a part of the conversation, send your thoughts to John Carter at mysteriesandbeliefspodcast.com. See you on the other side. Hello and welcome back for episode number 36 of Mysteries and Beliefs Podcast with John Carter. On today's show, I have my reoccurring regular, Chantel.
Hola.
And I have Lisa.
Hi.
Today's episode is going to be on natural healing. We're going to talk about natural processes. Is it processes or
remedies?
Natural remedies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it a mystery or a belief?
It's a belief.
It's a belief, yeah.
Okay. Just asking.
It is, because you have to believe in this stuff for things to work.
Right. There you go.
And you have to understand.
Sure.
With natural healing, with the climate of COVID right now, everybody wants to start doing some natural healing stuff with vitamins and all that.
Yeah.
So vitamin sales have like skyrocketed since the beginning of COVID. We had a conversation earlier today when I was saying everybody is reactive to things, not proactive at all. All of a sudden, you see on the news that vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and all these vitamins,
elderberry,
all this stuff that's supposed to help you fight off COVID or
quote unquote boost your immune system.
Boost your immune system to fight off, the COVID virus. Now everybody wants to take it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But why weren't you taking it before? You weren't concerned about your health prior to that?
No preventative measures whatsoever.
None. Only reactive to what happens. Just like in any other disease or anything like that, people have for instance, people that are pre-diabetic. People are pre-diabetic. You get some numbers back from the lab saying your blood work and things are a little bit abnormal. You become pre-diabetic. Instead of being proactive about changing things, they don't do anything.
Yep.
Nothing about it.
I've seen it firsthand.
And then they become a full diabetic. Now they want to start changing their diet a bit, but they depend on medication.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants. They want a magic pill for every single thing.
Sure.
And again, with coronavirus or COVID-19, they were trying the natural ways with the vitamins and things.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted the vaccine. No one at all wanted the vaccine. But all of a sudden,
it comes around.
Everybody wants the vaccine. Everybody depends on a magic pill for every single thing that they do. Everything. And no one ever looks at a natural remedy for anything.
Right.
It has to come from their favorite social media person for them to start doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
But you have signs of it prior to that, but you don't make any changes. And diabetes is the biggest problem that we have in the United States as far as that.
Yeah.
Because, we know people, we have family members that are diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of adjusting the diet to help fix the diabetes, they just adjust the medication to what you eat.
To accommodate what they're putting in
there.
There
you go. Accommodate. Yeah.
So, that's...
No urgency to try to cure.
No.
Or not cure,
balance.
But
There's
balance
no real balance.
Yeah, regulate it to try to keep it out of your body.
Yep.
None of it.
And, most of us here at this table, no, I won't even say most of us. Shouldn't say most of us. For a long time, I know I've always been into vitamins, exercise, and all that stuff. So I've always been proactive to things. Everybody gets a little hitch and a giddy up every now and then, and, things happen, you gain weight and you get sick and you just kind of ignore it for a bit. But, for the majority of my life, I've been into health pretty much. Mm-hmm. Coming to this topic today, I think, is it all three of us are on board with the same thing, that we believe in the oils, the crystals and things like that.
Yeah. I believe that natural healing is the best. I think that you can get a lot of health benefits from food, your nutrients from food. The earth provides for us automatically. And I'm a believer that, well, here's the thing. People, like you were saying, the pill is a quick fix for people.
Yes, it is.
Why not already get it from the earth already instead of going to the doctor and paying for that pill that's derived from a plant anyway to put into your body?
Because it doesn't happen quick enough.
Sure, you're right. But I don't think that I would pay for all of that.
When it comes to pills, that's what everybody wants. They want a quick fix. And that's why people don't really believe in like the oils and things like that and natural healing, because you don't get, for instance, for anxiety, you take whatever medication you take for anxiety, and 20 minutes later, you're kind of like zombied. It goes away. So you get that quick feeling. Same thing with pain medicine. Pain medicine, you take a pain pill, 10, 15, 20 minutes, the pain goes away.
Right.
But when you do natural healing, it's just natural. You just all of a sudden notice, damn, I've been all day and I haven't had a headache. I've been all day. I haven't had any, anxiety attacks. Oh, I haven't had any of this at all day long when you do natural healing. But people don't believe in it because it doesn't happen instantaneously. They want that instant gratification from everything, from that magic pill.
Right. I think we're fortunate enough to have kids that have always taken the natural path to healing rather than always wanting, or
I've always hated medicine.
Taking the medicine. Yeah. I mean, it would have to be the last resort. I think I was like that at one point, and my father was like that. He never took anything unless, it would have to be really bad.
I barely take headache medicine.
Yeah. And if you do, the point is to take it, to knock the edge off, not to completely take it away, because
and then I'll take other things to, to aid.
We have our oils. We have our teas, herbs, which is tea. Mm-hmm. We have things like that are natural. What are the things that when did you discover that was the way that you wanted to go? Since you were little, it was always with you, but when did you become aware of it more so?
Oh, I'd say within the last few years, but I always had that inner knowing of like doing natural remedies, because even when I was younger, I would always make this specific, tea to help with my congestion and whatnot, just like thyme, rosemary, sage, just boiling in some water instead of automatically going to Mucinex or whatever else is out there for sinus problems.
This girl, I would always have to fight her, not to cut you off, but to take medicine that if the doctor prescribed antibiotic, and she said, no, I don't like it. I don't like the way that makes me feel.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, all of you guys were like that.
I know it's bad. A lot of people don't know that some of these medicines, they're not good for you in the long run.
No.
Because when you mention antibiotics, you have a microbiome in your stomach. If you take too much antibiotics, it
wreaks havoc.
Yeah, disrupt your microbiome in your stomach. And not only that,
your skin. Your skin.
People have different reactions to antibiotics, and also your body gets adapted to a certain antibiotic.
Yeah.
So you continually take this over and over and over again. At some point, it doesn't work, and then you're really going to need an antibiotic for something that does not work
right
on you. So that's a thing you guys have to look out for. Just don't take it, because me working in medicine, every time somebody comes into the office, they feel a little bit sick, they got a little cold, they got little sniffles, they want to take an antibiotic. It doesn't work like that. And I think some of the prescribers are bad at doing that also. They're at fault for this whole thing, because some of the doctors will just go ahead and give it to people just because they want it.
Because they feel like they need to feel better instead of because they're not treating an infection. Because that's the only time that you get antibiotics. But people think because you have a cold, you need to take your medicine. Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut you off when you were talking, Chantel.
No, it's okay, because I was going to expand on what you guys were saying earlier about people wanting a quick fix to everything. The evolution of Western society, it becoming more industrialized, everyone does not have any focus on their health. Like it's
No.
not at the top of their list because you don't realize that you need this body. You need your health to even function, to go to work, to do whatever, take care of your kids.
Yeah.
So along those lines, it just became, okay, well, I'm sick. Let me go to the doctor.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it.
And it's supposed to be, like a fix all. Your doctor is supposed to be there because that's what their job is for. But as we've seen, it's become more so treat the symptoms instead of eradicate,
Yeah.
the actual root of the cause
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's all it is. I mean,
Mhm.
because everything that they give you, going back to diabetes, and that's one of the main things in this country is they don't try to treat, or they treat the diabetes, but they don't try to cure
Cure.
diabetes.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's sometimes when you get type 1 diabetes, it's a little bit more difficult to cure because you become insulin dependent, but that comes from a long time, a long period of time. But if you're just pre-diabetic or you're the type 2 diabetes where you can adjust your medications and exercise, lose weight and things like that,
Hmm.
you can do that by yourself, but people don't want to take time to do that.
Right.
Nobody wants to take time to do that. I mean, I hate to keep going back to COVID-19, but we see the trends that's happening now, like I mentioned, as far as the vitamins and things like that are increasing and, in numbers and in sales, is that people want to pay more attention to their immune system now because they said, oh, the way you can fight off the virus is, to
These
have
specific.
a strong
Mhm.
immune system. It's like, oh my God, I got to buy every single thing that's going to help my
Mhm.
immune system.
Right.
Nope.
Now, I mean, it's too late. If your body is shitty right now, I mean, you got an uphill battle. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the truth.
Yeah.
And it takes time. It's not an overnight thing.
It is not an overnight thing.
We should probably preface, well, it's too late to preface, but I would want to put it out there that we are no experts. We're just telling you what we do. And if you want
It's just our perspective.
Yeah,
our
it is,
perspective,
because
that's
we-
it.
we have
We
no-
are not,
We have no notes or nothing in front of us right now. We're only going by what we experience, and
also we're not experts.
We're not experts at that, but I can tell you, I see it firsthand because I do
Just
work in medicine.
Do your own research.
Yes, I mean
Yeah.
we're not prescribing anything
No,
to
but
anybody
I just want to say it. We should probably state it so people. We're not trying to push off an agenda. We're only sharing our perspective. That's it.
Right. Because the conversation is mostly about natural healing
Yes.
and what we've seen,
What
Yeah.
we've experienced.
what we've experienced. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I guess since you mentioned that, we'll go ahead and switch gears on some of the things that we use for natural healing and make us feel better instead of going to get medications and stuff.
Yes.
Mine is oils. I was kind of suspect at first on the oils.
Right. Most people are.
I give a shout out to our
Our oil lady.
oil lady who got us into the oil. I guess we can give a link to her information and stuff like that if people are
Yeah.
interested in the oils. Until you actually use some of these things, and not just one time. If you start on a regular regimen of some things,
Mhm.
and it's sometimes maybe a trial and error for things, but you may find the right fit for you.
Yeah.
And me, I like using the oils because it
Essential
seems,
oils.
yeah, the essential oils, not the fake ones from Walmart.
Right.
Not additives. These are actual oils.
Real essential oils
that have been used for thousands and thousands of
of
years.
And then from plants, like right now in our diffuser, we have eucalyptus in there
Mm-hmm.
right now. Make us breathe better.
You can even grow the plant yourself and still have a property, a healing property with it as well.
Right.
So
But we use doTerra oils, and
shout out doTerra.
I tell you, the one that I favor is the adaptive, because sometimes you're having a stressful day and you're kind of feeling uptight.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead and we have these little roller balls that we mix with either coconut oil, some type of, what is it, transfer oil?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Carrier.
Mix it with a carrier oil, and you could, rub it on your palms, your feet, the back of your neck, and and you just smell it. And a few minutes later, I mean, you notice that, everything's kind of calmed down.
By the way, it took him forever to really believe the oils because I won't get into back the story of why he wouldn't believe it, but it's just hard to see you just rub something on your skin or you take it internally and it's a cure-all because we're used to that instant fix, right? If it becomes that bad, then we'll say, well, where's the acetaminophen and all that stuff?
Yeah,
Whereas
it had to take time being on, like I mentioned, a regular regimen of it.
what made you finally say, you know what, I'm going to give this a try? We know the person that was doing an oil study. Is that
we
what
did
made
the oil
you?
study because we had a chance to sample each oil in certain protocols.
Sure.
So you had different protocols. One was for anxiety, but I can't remember
One for
each
pain.
one for pain and different things. So they
Yeah.
gave you a
They
mixture
give you
of
categories.
oils to use, and also you can make capsules out of the oils as
Yep.
well because they're all natural. Based on the protocol that you had a regimen of the oils, and I noticed some of the oils did make a major impact or a major effect
Right.
on me
Mm-hmm.
And the study
over the
was
period of
7
time.
days.
It's a
Yeah.
7-day study.
And I think that's when he was told. I think you might have been just a little bit before that, but that study gave you the opportunity to kind of focus on that particular.
And the thing about that, we can rewind just a little bit. When it came to essential oils, I only thought of essential oils as smells.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So why the hell am I going to pay $30 for something just to smell?
peppermint.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's all. That's all I thought. It was
Right.
only for smells.
Yeah.
That is it. I never looked at it as, some type of natural remedy for anything. All I thought it was just some damn air freshener.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's it. I still like the smells of them though, but I know, looking at some of the things, and I have a couple of books on the oils and using the oils. Now I know what they're used for.
Did you
Right.
know that incense were like that too?
Yeah, I knew about incense.
Oh, okay.
Besides smoking weed, yeah.
Oh, geez.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And you really
I mean, back in the day in the 70s, everybody used to buy
like
incense.
on that 70s show?
Yeah, they fry up incense. What you kids doing down there? We're lighting incense.
Yeah.
when did you, Chantel, in regards to oils, when did you know that it had healing properties and start using them for your process, as it were?
I don't know, to tell you the truth, because some time ago I looked into them, and then, the process of them extracting the oil. So it's like pretty potent. So you're like, okay, well, let me try this out.
When did you notice that it did work for you?
See, I only ever really used like lavender and
Yeah.
breathe, and a few other ones. I didn't do like a whole like regimen with them.
But when you noticed the lavender, did you notice a difference other than it smelling good or whatever?
Mhm.
Did it give you the calming effect? Or
Yeah, it did. Definitely, it was relaxing.
And you know who it calms down to?
yeah, we actually use it on our dog.
Yeah, Aya.
Yeah.
Aya go
Mhm.
night-night, you put it on her.
Yeah, and that's the awesome thing is because you can use it on some of the oils on your pets as well. And if you have a high energy and dog
Anxious.
or anxious dog, you put just a dab on the tips of their ears and just a little bit on the back of their neck, and they're off to sleep. We haven't done that in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
so.
and also another thing with that, I mean, I have pictures of this. That thing that I used to have on my ankle, those two circles, those spots
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
didn't go away.
Mm-hmm.
And over months, I've been, made that oil mix
Mhm.
that's based off of the book that I have, the recipe, and it's gone. I don't even remember. I think it's on the inside. You can barely see where it was.
And this
Isn't
guy
that great?
tried everything.
Mhm. Medication too.
Prescribed prescription. Yeah.
Prescription medicine, and
Yeah.
it didn't do anything. It got rid of the redness of it, but it didn't take it away.
Right.
And by using, that oil recipe on it, it totally took it away.
Right. I like that when you're putting it on your back and different things and then on your scalp. It's had healing overall, guys.
Yeah, I've
do your
used it for
research
so many different things.
Yeah.
So many things. Tea tree oil. They have
That's a good one too.
what's the one that is it Copaiba?
Copaiba. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a really good one. And then they have one that's for focus and I like that
Yeah.
one a lot. I can't remember
And
what
I
it's
think
called.
some of the ones that you guys are mentioning are proprietary oils to doTERRA, like
Yeah.
Breathe.
Mhm.
You know, that's a proprietary oil that they make, and
Yeah.
the Focus one.
Yep.
So I don't know if they have other brands of ones by
No.
the same name.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention another company because they're just as good.
Young
It is
Living.
Young Living is
Mhm.
probably the purest that you're going to find outside of doTERRA. But doTERRA definitely is number one. I mean, you could probably go to people that make it themselves and
Mhm.
they sell it on their Etsy and all that stuff. I just don't have the backing or the research for them to know.
And we have personal experience with the doTERRA
Yeah,
products.
we
Yeah, and some people don't use essential oils because, and I've seen comments about this pretty much everywhere online. It's not FDA approved. There's no real quote unquote research behind these oil remedies.
But guess what? There's no supplement that is on the
There you
market
go.
that's FDA approved.
It says it right on the
Exactly.
back of the bottle.
None.
None.
At all.
But people will run right down to the store to
Walmart,
take some
clear out that,
supplements
Yeah.
with the quickness.
with the
Mhm.
quickness. Or that little roll-on thing that people got. And I was going, do you even know what's in it? You're rolling it on your body. Your skin is absorbing. It's going to go inside. Where's it going to go?
Right.
Yeah, and I can tell you a couple of bad experiences that I had with some vitamins and some
Oh, your daughter
products.
sitting right here can too as
Mhm.
well.
Some products. I'm not going to shout out a name, but back in
No.
the day when I used to personal train, used to run the gym, there was a person that sold a certain vitamin line. They
Mhm.
said, "Okay, I'm going to get you into this. You can sell it. You can make money off of this product line.
Mhm.
I'll give you the free thing. You can start taking it." I kid you not, my heart rate was running like 130 beats per minute every single time I took one of those things.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why I say that is because I took a class, what was, I think it was, God, I can't remember the name of the class, but it was a class of sports nutrition, a part of a sports nutrition class that I took. It wasn't at George Mason itself, but it was a class from George Mason that I took.
Mhm.
And they showed some studies and research on supplements. And there were things that were in the supplements that's not labeled,
Yeah.
and things that were labeled that weren't even in the supplements.
Wow.
They had
Mhm.
a company that would take these products and test the products themselves. And I don't know who's ever taken pharmacology before out there in their life. If you've taken pharmacology, that when anything is synthetic, it does not process through your body
Nope.
properly.
Not at all.
So the more natural, the better. And that's one thing I had with vitamins. And another thing, I bought some natural stuff for, I think it was like a shampoo or some other stuff that they claimed that was, natural, good for you.
Skincare, right?
Oh my God. You may not remember this, but it had my head on fire. I was scratching my head like shit, and then I had to wash it out.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
trying to remember.
This was it is less than 10 years ago. It was something that we bought that was like either some oils. It was something because, I have dry skin, my hair and stuff like that. And it was something for the dreads that you
Mhm.
put in your scalp that was supposed to be natural.
Yes, I remember that. I do remember. Didn't we get that from like the beauty store?
Yeah, something like that, because we've always looked for products and things for my hair, and that thing, I mean, it tore
That's
my
happened to
head
me before.
up.
Yeah, because it had a claim that it had something in it that didn't.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I had to actually hit my coworker to what they did, because she is not one of those people that would read ingredients. And after I told her, you need to look at the ingredients, because if what it's saying is in it is all the way at the bottom, that's the least
That's the
amount
least amount. Yep.
of
least amount.
that component within that, I guess, supplement or vitamin, food, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she didn't realize that because she was drinking something. She said, "You're absolutely right, because that is the last two ingredients on here." And I'm like, "Yep, see, I told you."
That's why that drink Naked, I think it was, got sued.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, because it had
Because
so
of
much
that.
sugar. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like whoever you guys, I know if you've been to college out there, you've heard about grading on the curb. And this is what the government does. The government kind of does things on the curb.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, if it has XYZ amount in it, you can claim that it's in it.
Yeah.
You're
Or
absolutely
if
right.
it has XYZ an amount in it, you don't have to label it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and that's weird. And they can,
Especially within the U.S.
Yeah.
oh my God, and they can go so far up and they can go so far down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the thing is, like we were talking about earlier, we're not bashing any products or anything like that. And we're just talking about natural things. When you read a label, if you can read everything that's in the label,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. But when it starts to put chemicals and things in it, is not so good.
Yeah.
Well, even if it still is, you have to pay attention to your body and the other things that you're consuming.
Yeah, because you might be allergic to it.
Segue, and not just even allergic, you might be doubling up on things that you don't really need, which is a nice segue into maybe what your experience was.
You talking about with me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say that most things, if you're out there taking a bunch of supplements and your body does not need it, like we said earlier, it's going to expel it. You're going to just
pee it out.
You're just going to pee it out.
Yeah.
So you really have to educate yourself on what your body specifically needs. Me, I've been a vegetarian for over 10, no, not over 10 years. It's just about 10 years. January 2nd, actually, about 10 years. So I've heard for the longest time these supplements or whatever you should take if you're not a meat eater. I still consume dairy, eggs, and fish.
So you're a pescatarian.
So I'm a pescatarian. Well, I said I'm not a meat eater. And to me, fish isn't like a primary meat.
Got it.
To other people, it may be, but whatever. So I was taking B12 and I would take that on and off. But there was a specific brand that I got from Whole Foods first. And I think I did not pay attention to the symptoms when I first started taking it. So when I started buying other vitamins, I took B12. I took the same B12 again. And like I said, they tell you if you're not a meat eater, you should supplement with B12
because a lot of B12 is in beef.
Yeah. And the sad part about it is they, what is the word? They advertise it as an energy supplement.
Yeah,
instead of what exactly it is, which it does speed up your metabolism and all this other stuff. It's for digestion, right? Something like that, or it helps.
I don't remember, but
B12, no, B12 they use it. It is.
I'm
for
thinking
energy.
of something else then.
Yeah, but B12, yeah, they use a lot of B12 shots
for energy. B12 I remember because my doctor suggested it.
And it's something else. I can't remember right off the
head. But it has something to do with metabolism.
I'm looking it up while you guys talk.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, so when I started taking this B12 again, I started having all these symptoms. I was peeing a lot. I would have these weird moments in my head where it would just I would check out. Then I was having heart palpitations, but I was attributing it to something completely different because there was other issues going on. Then one day I came out into the living room and I was having an episode and I told my parents what I was taking. And my dad was like, B12, that's a stimulant. You need to stop taking that. And then it kind of clicked in my head. That's most likely what it was because I was taking other supplements, but that was the main one. Yeah,
it
pretty
was
much.
Something else. And when you looked at the back of the ingredients, remember you said, oh yeah, and it has such and such too.
Yeah, it was too much. I think you were not overdosing, but you were kind of tripling and doubling up on some of the things that you were taking.
Yeah, because remember Daddy said, oh, they also make it, usually with B12, they always make it with such and such supplement.
Well, they tell you what type of B12 you should take.
Right, but I'm saying on the back of that, whatever that ingredient was, you looked it up and said, okay.
Well, it wasn't that specifically. I was doing digging because some things on Google, I don't know if anybody is aware of how Google's algorithm looks like, but it will give you articles they feel like pertain to what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It won't just give you a bunch of stuff that recently came out or whatever. It'll give you what they think that you want. So I was doing some digging. And then I realized this article was talking about B12. What's the word? When somebody gets too much of something.
Well, it's overdose.
Overdosing. I don't want to say poisoning. It's another word.
Yeah, and I know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, so all the symptoms that were there, I was experiencing. and they don't say there's nothing about this warning on any of the other articles, because the first thing I typed in was what would happen if you got too much B12. All of them say you would just pee it out. That's not what was happening. Yeah, I was peeing it out, but I had other, other symptoms.
Right.
So
and they were bad because they were taking up your day. Even at work, they were taking up your day.
Mm-hmm.
It was really bad.
Yeah, I had to do process of elimination, but after you said that, I was like, oh, definitely that's most likely what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell you, I mean, you definitely have to look out for things. Like I said just a few minutes ago, the more natural things are, the better. And you, like you were saying, Chantel, you have to know what you're taking, because you have people that are taking multivitamins.
Yeah.
And they take every vitamin that's in that multivitamin
as well.
separately as well.
Yeah.
You're wasting your money because you're just putting it all in the toilet. And then it could be in the same situation that you just referred to. I mean, you can have some type of reaction to overdoing some of these supplements. I mean, natural is good, but too much is not.
Right.
Doesn't make it any better.
Right.
And that's what people, medications, they tell you take 2 pills a day, don't go over a certain amount of number of pills. And people, they adjust to that because it's medication, the doctor tells them. But you get a cold and they said, oh, you shouldn't have but 700 or 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C per day, but people will take 10,000.
Right.
Because it's a vitamin. It's not going to do anything to you, but you still have your liver, you still have your kidneys that some of these supplements can affect, because your kidneys have to work much harder when you take a lot of these things.
My suggestion is regarding taking
do your
pills.
research.
Do your research, but also
not pills.
Most times,
vitamins, supplements.
I think since COVID happened, we've gotten a lot of farmers, and I follow a few of them on TikTok. But anytime that you're feeling maybe your tummy hurts, you could grow peppermint leaves, or you can go eat papaya, things like that. Those are natural remedies. Ginger, exactly. You can make some ginger tea, turmeric. They all take away inflammation in your body. What is the other one I was going to say?
There's quite a few.
I would suggest even just looking into it. Most people now, you can even buy the lamps for your herbs. That's what I would start with. Just go buy a kit. They're like $25. Buy those. If you're not into the oils and you want to just try it through eating it in your food, I would just suggest that, doing it that way. Even loose leaf teas, that they have the natural. They're natural. We get ours from the farmer's market, so they're hand picked, and there's not a process to them before it gets to you, because it's farm to table, as it were. Those are the things that I would suggest. But also, speaking of farms, make sure you know what kind of farm you're going to as well, because the dirt and the land and fertilizer, all of those things still play a part in what you're consuming.
Yeah, because it could be chemicals in the ground in certain places.
Yeah, well, the fertilizer, and there's people out there that have never even used fertilizer to have their farms. They grow cabbage and things like that.
I know, and
I don't want to get off on a tangent, but I'm just saying.
I know, speaking of farms, everything out there that's labeled organic is not really organic.
Yeah. Please, guys,
show ain't.
read the label. It's not.
You can't even go by the label on that. They
can't even go by the label.
But
and also be careful of your farmers markets and your farms too, because they too now have started getting things shipped in. Remember, the farm we went to one, we had the natural whoopie pies, and
and the other one had
they had fake. It was all sugar, and it was they bought it from someone local, and it was
I know the one farmer's market, they come with the Amish lady out there that brings them out
she
there.
out there in their bacon.
Bacon for real. And those are the things that you guys need to be aware of. And even if you're a meat eater, you're carnivore, most of our household is carnivore, I would suggest doing grass-fed meat. And then you can even order it from your local farm if you want.
Yeah, and a lot of places, I mean, the grass-fed meats are getting a little cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go to a butcher to get grass-fed meat, but there are some places that are,
You'll
not
taste the
a
difference.
lot less expensive. Not only taste the difference, it's just the chemicals that they feed the animals,
Yeah,
all the
right.
steroids and things like that, and antibiotics that they put in some of the meats and
Right.
in the animals. But I know we've been on the the vitamins or supplements and oils.
Yeah.
And there's other remedies. I mean, you guys are more into this than I am because you bought crystals. You guys buy
Yes.
crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Did you know your mom has crystals?
I
don't know if you
don't
knew that or
really
not.
know about crystals. I haven't read up on anything about crystals, but
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you guys use. You should mention that.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. Crystals come from the earth. That's first and foremost. So each crystal has different properties, or it's said to have different properties. I have a few. I don't have a lot because if I don't feel like I need to have an excessive amount, I'm just going to get what I need. Because there's people out there that have bags full of crystals, and I don't feel like that's necessary.
No.
So yeah, I have a few.
And not only just crystals. I mean, most of you guys out there, you're into the paranormal things like that. And when people talk about quartz and limestone, is where the spirits are trapped, or you have more activity of the paranormal around that. And when it comes to things like that, just like you mentioned, there's different properties of things that you have to keep in mind, that our bodies are made of everything that's in this universe.
Yep.
Look at everything quantum. We are all linked together somehow. And that's why I think people have intuition, because you can feel people's energy, you can feel people's vibe, because we're all a part of the same quantum realm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Per se.
Yeah.
And when it comes to crystals and things like that, I'm going to a cartoon, but look at Superman. How kryptonite affects
Look at
Superman.
the Avengers.
Yeah, it's something.
The Infinity Stones.
Yeah, the Infinity Stones. There are crystals that can affect people certain ways. And even the same thing, if you buy certain metals or certain stones, if you put them on as
like
jewelry,
copper,
as jewelry, it will cause allergic reactions in certain people. And you can look at the crystals that way, because if it's a certain stone, that certain stone can affect your chemistry of your body a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of your chemistry.
Yeah.
Your mood.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? That since we're on the topic, I told Mom like a few months ago, I had this dream where it was like some weird aliens had like invaded. They didn't look like aliens though. You know Annabelle?
Yeah,
that's
doll.
what they look like.
The doll?
Yeah, it was so
weird.
That's why I don't mess with dolls. Man.
Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. So it was all of us, and you had this huge crystal quartz, and you gave it to the twins. And of course I looked up the symbolism for that, whatever. But so for the last, I don't even know how long it's been, I've slept with crystal quartz underneath my pillow, and that's when my dreams are really vivid, and I can pretty much recall most of them. I'm always good at recalling my dreams, but whenever I sleep with rose quartz specifically, that's when my dreams are really just like on it. And I guess that, that plays a good part, because rose quartz is for like love and, positivity, things like that. Because I've tried it with my citrine, I've tried it with my tiger's eye, not the same effect whatsoever.
That's kind of cool. I urge everyone to just go get one. Just go to your local crystal store, look for ones that speak to you, and maybe even ask the person, can I use maybe for, again, anxiety,
they're usually pretty informed,
or love, or manifesting, and you want to raise your vibration, because again, we're all energy, and they'll typically help you and start you maybe with a little one. And some are good to keep in your pocket. Oh, I got one that I want to get for you too, because you're a Cancer. So, and it helps with moods.
And isn't it interesting that we have birthstones?
Yeah.
So that definitely plays a role.
Got it. It took me a minute. I was about to say, what are you talking about? I don't have none. I thought you meant like we have them in our hands.
No,
Sorry.
you have.
Yeah, birth. Yeah, that is. But the weird part is that I fight mine because I don't like it.
What is yours? A ruby?
No, opal.
Yeah.
Yours is opal? Oh, yeah, because we're both born in October. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I don't like the
I don't
word
know
opal.
what mine is because I'm
Yours
July.
is garnet? No.
I think it might be an emerald.
Is it? Let me look it up. Oh, are you going to look it up? You look it up.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
but
and mentioned about the stones, and we're talking about this also. The beads?
yeah.
I mean, you guys are into the beads too, and I'm still trying to understand, the meaning of the beads also.
Oh,
Your
yours is a
bracelet.
ruby.
Oh,
Yeah.
Daddy's is
All
ruby.
right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my birthstone's ruby, but yeah, and also the beads. Also, you see a lot of different cultures have the beads.
There's so
that they
many.
use.
It would just depend because
Yeah.
Africans have different meanings, and then the Middle East, just in general, their beads, and then
The Asian countries.
Asian countries, yeah, they all have different meanings. But
Yeah, maybe because what's the name? A lot of Asian countries use jade
They do.
yeah,
for things.
Jade.
That's the biggest one.
Even copper, that's for healing. That and people have been marketing it for your ankle,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
your wrist.
those copper
There's a
things that you
reason
put around
behind
stuff.
that. Like you said, we're from the earth. These things have natural healing
Copper
properties.
is like a conduit. Is that the word that I'm thinking
yeah,
of?
well, that's why if you
Yeah.
have something injured or what have you, you would use that too.
Because they use copper wiring and
Mhm.
copper things, and so for electricity and plumbing.
Yep.
Right.
I have the bracelet that I got for you, so you can have it.
Is
You
it
can wear
copper?
It's copper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like copper tone tan.
Yeah, I wanted to get all of us one, but they only had one.
Where at Whole Foods?
Of course, it was Whole Foods. But seriously, and they have mining. You can go to different states that you can mine your own. I myself personally, I don't really like to go to a lot of sites to buy them because I feel like they're not even rock. You're probably just buying plastic, and some people will. If you ask them where it's sourced from, they're not going to be able to
They don't
answer your
know.
question.
Yeah.
And that's okay that you don't necessarily know that where they're sourced from, really, because like if you're trying to manifest, it's going to
a lot
happen
of times,
regardless.
little
but
small shops, mom and pop places, or things like that, they'll have the best things.
yeah,
Even
Because
the
they
best
don't.
food.
Yeah, they don't depend on mass production of things.
the only thing I don't like is when they go to the gym shows and they buy them out of the little baggies, and it's people that have bought them from wherever. Those are the things that I don't like.
Well, I'm referring to like the smaller shops.
Sure.
Because if you go to Charlotte, North Carolina,
Yeah, I love
those
that
little
store.
shops that they have down there,
Yeah.
with the natural stuff, you get the incense, and so those are.
And the sound bowls.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh, yeah,
another
that
thing
too.
that we didn't even mention was using sound for healing. You can use different megahertz for anxiety. I go back to anxiety, or for pain.
Yeah,
or
different
focus,
frequencies.
Different frequencies, yeah. And I suggest everybody even just try that. They have several channels on YouTube to do it. I would have your headphones on. I think you get the best.
It's so
results.
crazy. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
Go
fine.
ahead. The other night when I was having my really, really bad headache,
Yeah.
something in my head said theta waves. Because of course I've heard that word like a while ago, but something was like theta waves. And I put that on YouTube. When I tell you, I just felt so serene when I had that heating pad on my head and I was just relaxing and breathing like that. I think that, and
That aided in.
I got to a point where I was like so deep in thought, I didn't even realize that it was still on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I love that. And the sound bowls, I mean, they are amazing too. And they actually have that on YouTube. Put your headphones on. Sound bowls are
That's
amazing.
my Bose headphones, noise canceling.
Noise canceling.
Noise canceling.
Man, those things are the beast.
I need some like
geez.
that.
Oh my God, they are the beast.
Yeah, but you can't. I'd want to listen to some of them going to sleep, and I can't.
Why can't you listen to it going to sleep with those Bose headphones on?
Do you turn your head?
Bose makes the
Tiny ones?
earpods too.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
maybe I'll get those.
Well, no, they're mad expensive.
The only thing about that is if I'm using it to go to sleep, I'm going to need to hear what's going on around me as well.
Yeah, so you wear one like I do.
Oh, okay. I was
can't
about
do
to
both.
say.
I always wear one because I need to hear everything that's going on around me, inside and out.
Y'all nosy.
Yeah.
That's what
Unless
it
I'm
is.
here during the day and I'm out here by myself, then I'll just put it on the TV.
See,
or
I don't
in
even have to
earphones.
hear, but I can feel when somebody's creeping.
I don't know.
I can
You mean like
feel
when
it.
somebody gets up out of bed?
Yeah, I can feel when people are creeping because I'll wake up just on that alone. If somebody gets, I think it's just me, but when somebody gets too close, and you know how our kitchen is, I mean,
Yeah.
right across, and like if you get up, sometimes may not even be making any noise, and there's no lights on. I feel something, and then
Oh, you feel
I
the
hear
presence.
I hear the creeping, a few minutes later
Mhm.
on the floor.
I guess because there's a disturbance
Yeah.
in the force, so
Yes.
you feel it.
Use the force, Luke.
Yeah. I like that.
Mhm.
The sound bowls and stuff like that.
There's a lot of different things that you can use for natural healing. You just have to, like we said earlier, you
Find
just
what
have to
works.
find what works for you and works for your body.
Not depend just on
Medication.
Western medication.
See, and that's the thing. That's what I wish, or I'm hoping the trajectory of everything is going is to be more integrative.
Sure.
Because nobody's going to fall for, okay, just take this. Well, maybe not. But just take this, just take that. And, I think it's more so the older generation, though.
Yeah.
Because,
that's the only thing they know is.
Exactly.
A quick fix, yeah.
Yeah, a quick fix.
But, the things that my mother taught us naturally, they still always work.
Right.
Always work.
Well, but you look at it that a lot of community of people didn't have health care.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they treated themselves was naturally anyway.
Yeah, they had to.
And everything was passed down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they knew some of the oils. And I could probably honestly say a majority of it probably came from the Native American community.
Right.
I do think that, a lot of it came from there because we didn't become what we became as a country until they start colonizing things and started manufacturing things.
Yeah.
And so a lot of those remedies and things got lost.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's fortunate that some other families did still practice that. Again, if you didn't have medicine or you couldn't go to the doctor, it's like, oh, I gave you this and this helps. And going back to the oils, I have peppermint, eucalyptus, and something else in a little roller ball when I get stuffy.
Mm-hmm.
I just roll it on my chest and put it in my nose. The stuffiness goes away.
Right.
Yep. Even diffusing it. Oh, what's crazy? Even like smudging. Like certain
What's that?
So it's where you have like a stick of, a certain herb and then you just light it and
remember the sage I bought?
Yeah.
Remember?
It's like
it's not cigarweed, is it?
It's like what people use for like cleansing their environment and stuff like that. Yesterday I was using this one that's yerba santa. That's what I was using. And I was using it in my room and I was stuffed up. And then when I went into the bathroom, all this mucus came out and I coughed it up and I was blowing my nose. And I remembered that is a herb used to help with sinus issues.
Sweet.
Allergies, all that type of stuff.
Here.
Right.
I definitely need something like that. Well, I use the eucalyptus mix that I have, but yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And what I was going to mention earlier was I've started looking into Ayurvedic. Why can I say
Ayurvedic?
No, Ayurvedic medicine. Yeah. Are you familiar with anything like that?
No.
So that's pretty much like using herbs and stuff like that because even
mostly in the Asian, like Indian cultures.
Yeah, Indian cultures. Mm-hmm. Because there's certain spices and stuff that you can put in your food that help with digestion even or whatever. Of course, because we spoke about food earlier because food is basically medicine. So, they have it outlined where if you're a certain body type, these type of things will help or this time of the year because it's all in different categories. I'm not going to mess up the name for them right now, but yeah, I've been looking into that as well.
Yeah.
Herbal healing.
The little ball things, look like grain that an old colleague gave me. And that was for digestive health as well. So you would eat it after dinner and to help with your digestion, especially if something was
Yeah, I mean, all that you need is pretty much here. That's why I said like science and technology, of course, like integrative. I'm not saying that I don't believe in medicine at all, but pretty much all we need is already here. We have access to it. Why can't I speak today? We have access to it, and our bodies alone are intelligent enough to self-heal.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that.
Yeah.
Nope.
So they're looking for other outlets to help them out when it's like it's already right in front of you. You
Right.
just really have to take the correct
Yeah.
avenues.
And sometimes it just takes time.
Time.
Just wait.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
it.
consistency. That's the
it.
biggest one too.
I wish that we would find something for these allergies to where it just stays out of your body.
Yeah.
That would
I
be
have
nice.
plenty of stuff for allergies.
Yeah, but the unfortunate thing about that with allergies, that the way they do foods now, the GMO and stuff like that, I mean, there's nothing
It
wrong
creates
with
more.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just by modifying some of the foods can cause allergies to some people. And I think,
Environmental.
yeah, I think, no, not even environmental. One main one is nuts, how people are allergic to nuts. It could be just because of
The
GMO.
way it's grown. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it. It's not grown natural, and people get allergic to nuts.
And one of the things that I learned over the last year was like about mucus, how mucus causes a lot of physical like discomfort or ailments in your body.
It's the conduit
Yeah.
for other illnesses.
Well, it's not only the condiment, because if you have mucus, then that means you have
Inflammation.
inflammation in your body anyway.
There you go. Exactly. And once I started to eradicate a lot of that stuff out of my body, my allergies were not bothering me as much, because I remember
right.
2019, that summer, that was the worst my allergies were in my entire life. But last summer, I didn't have any allergy problems until we got Aya.
Sorry.
Oh.
Well, because, dander,
She
and then
shucks
she
and
goes
she-
outside and she rolls around in the
And every
grass.
time she
And
touches
then
you,
she
you
licks.
get, she licks and then you get the rash.
Yep.
Yeah, I know. It just takes people believing. It's just take you believing into some of these natural remedies, things that you couldn't even imagine, that people don't even understand. Because I was telling somebody about how I missed the sauna in the steam room.
Yep.
Because what the heat shock proteins does for your body. She was like, heat shock proteins. And I said, yeah, it's good for your body. It's good for your cardiovascular health. It actually lowers your blood pressure. And I mentioned to her, it's like, I used to get in the sauna every day after my workout for 15 to 20 minutes. And my blood pressure was pristine. I do a lot of cardio, but I mean, my blood pressure was pristine. But when they closed the gyms down and no more sauna, of course, bad diet. My diet wasn't as good,
We had
not
the
as much
COVID
exercise.
issue.
Everybody had the COVID thing going on. And not being able to get into the sauna, I noticed my blood pressure started to creep up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a lot of things that did that.
And now that the sauna is not here, I use the sauna suits, and people don't believe in those, but it's not about weight loss when it comes to some of the sauna suits. You just have to realize that you have to get some of that inflammation off of your body. And the way you get inflammation off your body, if you do cardiovascular exercise, you sweat out some of the inflammation in your body, and it clears out some of the toxins in your body as well.
Right.
But, some people don't understand that aspect of some of these things that you use. What do they call it?
They should look up the benefits of sauna.
Yeah.
And infrared.
Well, infrared is there's different types of saunas.
Yeah,
but that is still a sauna. Infrared sauna, and then just heat sauna.
Yeah.
Well, because when you're learning in school, they teach you pretty much the basics of how your body works. But people don't really understand the natural process that everything in our body goes through, especially like when we digest food, where it goes, what certain organs help with what, how everything is connected. Like there's a nerve that goes from your stomach all the way to your brain.
Yeah. And, when it comes to that, if you ask any doctors, I read a book called Lies My Doctor Told Me. The doctors go to medical school, whatever specialty they get into, they have a very small portion of nutrition in that.
Right.
But the person that you go to about diets is your doctor. Your doctor.
Yeah.
What does the doctor say? And the same thing when it comes to nutritionists. You only go by what's based on the national boards or whatever organization that you belong to as a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a physician. You go by what they go by.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not good for everybody because everything is based on American diet,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
which is
used as a catch-all.
yeah, and everybody does that. But going back to that book, The Lies My Doctor Told Me, is these doctors go to school for X amount of time that they've gone to school, and they know the functions of your body.
Mm-hmm.
They know everything in and out, but you get caught in just treating.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't cure. You get caught treating symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a lot of them lose sight of that part that you're trying to cure something that somebody
Unfortunately.
has. One problem that we do have right now is the standard American diet because it's incorrect. It's not good for our bodies.
And where
At
was
all.
the basis of any of this diet, the food pyramid and all that? Where'd
Yeah, the
that come
food pyramid
from?
should be upside down.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a bunch of people got. I don't want to even get into the 50,
Propaganda.
yeah, the 50-year sugar thing that they
Mhm.
have. That is how they villainize fat and they glorify sugar
Mm-hmm.
because everything had sugar in it.
Yeah.
And then it
Yeah.
Still does.
was based on somebody got paid.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But that's not the form that we want to go to with that today. with that.
Not today.
Again, the doctors do know all this, but not a lot of them look at natural remedies. But
Mhm.
it's good that some of these doctors, like Dr. Ken Berry, he wrote that book that I'm referring to.
Mhm.
You know, they do traditional medicine and they also do natural medicine as well
Mhm.
because they realize at some point that everything doesn't work for everybody and
No.
everybody doesn't need a pill just to fix what they have.
Exactly.
I would suggest if you could go to a functional or an integrative doctor, then I would just give it a chance
Mhm.
and see.
Yeah. And functional medicine they're popping up everywhere.
The insurance needs to cover that.
Yeah, it's not based on what the government believes.
Doesn't make them
You know,
money.
whoever's sitting on that board probably weighing 200 or 300 pounds, making decisions for everybody's
Mhm.
diet. You know, it's like
Their health and
man,
well-being.
McDonald's is good for me every day. Why couldn't it be good for everybody in America?
Yeah, that's true.
So, what do you guys believe? What do you guys use for your natural healing? If you do use anything at all.
Let us know.
Let us know. Leave us a comment. Email us at johncarter@mysteriesandbeliefspodcast.com. And do you guys have anything else you'd like to add to this topic or conversation?
Well, I was going to say maybe Chantel could leave a couple of links to some things that maybe started her journey.
Yeah, I'm
You
going to
leave
leave
the
some
link for
links.
doTerra.
We'll leave something in the show notes that
Mhm.
you guys can
Let us
look
know about
at.
your journey. It's not
Yeah.
a mystery. It's a belief. No.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. Truly, it is a belief.
It was kind of
And health is wealth.
Health is wealth. That's for sure. You only
All
get
day.
one life, one body,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. So
Yep.
I just wish I would have known beforehand before I
no.
got old.
That's
No
all.
ham,
That's
no
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no ham, no burger.
Oh, no, I had nothing to say. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.